Meanwhile, let's turn our attention to Silicon Valley Bank. SVB has received this lifeline from First Citizens Bank. This North Carolina-based lender has now agreed to buy the embattled Silicon Valley Bank, which was seized by U.S. authorities. First Citizens Bank has these assets. These assets are worth almost $110 billion. They've also got deposits of almost $90 billion. The U.S. Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation and First Citizens Bank, they're going to split losses and potential recoveries on the covered loans. This is going to be according to the agreement they've carved out. SVB was the largest bank since the 2008 financial crisis to collapse when regulators closed the bank. This happened on the 10th of March. It sparked massive market disruption and heightened stress across the banking sector globally. Let's get perspective on this. My colleague from our research team, Harsh, is joining us to tell us more. Harsh.
Well, around 2 weeks back, the FDIC had taken over Silicon Valley Bank pretty much fully to protect depositor interest. Now they've gone ahead and figured out that they're going to sell Silicon Valley Bank to First Citizen. And, this is essentially a takeover of the bank as a whole. It's a whole bank purchase. SVB Private is out of or not part of that transaction, and the depositors of SVB will now become depositors of First Citizen Bank. Now, the deposits continue to be protected by the FDIC subject to the limit of $250,000. $72 billion worth of assets have been taken over, but at a $16.5 billion discount. FDIC will also provide a line of credit for contingent liquidity purposes of First Citizen. First Citizen is roughly a market cap of $8 billion. And we're looking at the FDIC, which will make a loss of $20 billion on its deposit insurance fund. That's the larger contours and metrics of the transaction. Whether this is the end of the saga of US banking stress or not, of course, is a question that remains open. But at least for the moment, Silicon Valley Bank has been a resolved case to a large extent.